Welcome to Scott Reviews The Making Of, where we take a look at the extras found on your DVDs and Blu-rays, starting with the making of Jaws. In June of 1974, 27-year-old Steven Spielberg would go on to tackle one of his most difficult productions of his career. Jaws is known for going over schedule and over budget, and with the shark not working hardly at all, that meant that filmmakers had to come up with different ways to imply that there was a shark. For years, if people wanted to find out about the making of Jaws, they would turn to the book The Jaws Log by Carl Gottlieb. But it wasn't until 1995, 20 years after the film's release, that we would actually see a making of documentary on Jaws, and it actually premiered on the Signature Collection Laserdisc. This is the 1997 reprint of this Laserdisc. The only thing that's missing from the first print is that it does not have the CD soundtrack or the book on Jaws. But the thing that's nice is that this documentary is not exclusive to this Laserdisc. It can actually be found on various editions of Jaws, some in truncated forms as well too. I first saw it on the letterboxed VHS that had a 10-minute version of that documentary, and basically it was just the trailer and little bits, clips here and there from the documentary. And then on the DVD and double tape VHS release actually had over an hour longer version of it, but that was also truncated from its over 2-hour version that's on this Laserdisc. It wasn't until the 2005 release on DVD that we would actually see the full version carried over to another format. And then the Blu-ray and the 4K also carry over the full 2-hour version. The Making of Jaws is directed by French filmmaker and author Laurent Bouzereau. He wrote the book The De Palma Cut and got his start in home video through recording audio commentaries through the Criterion Collection. He was approached to work on the Laserdisc release of 1941 and later that year, Jaws. Laserdisc was the birth of special features, something that was carried over onto DVD and became wildly popular. But the Laserdisc actually had some of the more candid, more casual interviews. These were aimed at the film buffs and the people who would spend a premium to get these features. Now, the documentary on Jaws features key interviews with cast and crew.
When I first hear the word Jaws, you know, I just think of a period in my life when I was much younger than I am right now. And I think because I was younger, I was more courageous, or I was more stupid. I'm not sure which. So when I think of Jaws, I think about courage and stupidity. And I think of both of those things existing underwater.
In this interview, Spielberg's very honest about his troubles on the film. This is a mature Spielberg. He's proven time and time again with Close Encounters, E.T., and the Indiana Jones series, riding high on the success of Jurassic Park, and winning a first-time Oscar for his work on Schindler's List. In an interview with the Digital Fix in 2002, Bouzereau talks about what it's like interviewing Spielberg. He says, in a sense, you're really trying to get a performance when you do the interview. There's a skill trying to get this performance. Where hopefully I think I have succeeded is because I do a lot of research, and if I'm talking about an older film like Jaws because I've just researched it, I might trigger a memory, and he might say, oh my God, I don't believe you remember that, but you don't know the half of it, and then you're on a great path. You also get insight from Peter Benchley, a first-time novelist, explaining his pains trying to agree on a title with his editor. Jaws could have been called The Stillness in the Water, The Silence in the Deep, Leviathan Rising, or The Jaws of Death. Luckily, they came up with the title Jaws. Bouzereau thankfully allows these interviews to breathe, giving you a little bit more sense of kind of what was going through their mind when they made the film. Susan Backlini talks about being pulled back and forth from a pulley on the ocean to act like the shark was attacking her. We also get insider look at the mechanical shark. Production designer Joe Alves talks about bringing mechanical effects supervisor Bob Matty out of retirement to work on the shark, having to put together a working shark in a matter of months. What makes this documentary so important is the home video footage. Now, you see it over and over again on various other Jaws documentaries, but if it wasn't for Laurent Bouzereau actually finding this stuff, we probably wouldn't have ever seen it.
No, bring it out now! Bring it out! Bring it out! Okay, attack! Attack!
Dun-dun, dun-dun. The special effects crew created 3 sharks. There was a full-size shark, there was a right and a left shark with the other side of the shark open and visible so that special effects crews can go in and fix the hydraulics. Now what they did is they had a platform that they sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and there was an arm that was connected to the shark with a gimbal that they could control with all the pneumatic tubes onto a separate platform right next to the boat. And what they would do is they would send cues to the shark to move right to left or left to right. There was also a 4th shark made out of fiberglass that was used as photo ops in Universal Studios in the 70s. It was restored for the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. Now we can't talk about Jaws without also talking about the theme from John Williams. Now Spielberg, funny enough, said that with those 2 notes, he thought John Williams was joking. But in fact, after a couple of listens, actually thought, you know, this actually might work. And honestly, I don't think I know anyone who has not thought about the theme while they're swimming in the water. Overall, I think the making of Jaws is still an important piece of film history. Now, there's many other documentaries out there that talk about the making of, but this one still holds up as the definitive making of documentary on Jaws. Now, if you pick up the Laserdisc, it's actually kind of a fun little collector's item, and it's not too expensive either, probably around $50 or so. And if you get the limited edition one, you get the CD and the book. So there's that. Well, thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.